Today is going to be a bit of an adventure. I'm going to be taking apart the SP404-MK2 pretty much entirely because I've been having a very annoying small issue with it, and that is that the shift button is slowly dying on me basically. So if I go ahead and press shift here now, you can see just absolutely nothing happens. If I press loop at the same velocity, for example, gate, they all work perfectly nicely. If I press shift, just nothing happens, and I have to kind of just hold it and press it as hard as I possibly can to try and make it work, and it just does not work. I can occasionally get it to work, but obviously this is just an absolute workflow killer, so it needs to be sorted out. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff on the table here, but the first thing that I want to show you guys is the internals. So I've actually already gone ahead and replaced this board. So this is the board that was originally in my device when it was shipped to me, and the shift button is over here on the right hand side. Now, this turned out to not be the problem, which is really annoying. So I changed this board over and I was having exactly the same problems with the shift button. So that led me to believe basically that it must be the physical button. Now, fortunately enough, I have managed to source these parts from sources which I am unable to reveal. But I actually have the full pads here, the 16 pads, which I've actually done a lot of wear to. So yeah, I've got replacement pads there, and I've got replacement rubber for this section here, which covers the shift button and everything along here too. I've got some tools here as well. I've got a microfiber cloth. This is actually my duster for in the studio. That's going to just be used to help me get the dials off the unit. I've got an Allen key, which is going to get the faceplate off for me. And then I've got this set of really small screwdrivers, which have been really useful over the years. And yeah, we're going to be using those for some of the screws inside the SP and for the case as well. Now, I have done the pad swap on the SP404-SX before, and that went pretty smoothly. I did a video on that. I feel like this is a bit of a step up, but I have already had this open and taken apart, just not on video. So yeah, doing it on video is a little bit more difficult. Obviously, I've got the mic in the way and certain things, but hopefully it's all going to go smoothly. So I guess let's crack on with it. I'm going to turn the power off, unplug the device obviously. Let's move some things out of the way. And yeah, let's start by getting the dials off. So these just pull off. Might be able to do it without the cloth. Yeah, there we go. I don't actually need this now. We'll get rid of that. So these dials are actually off my MPC 2500. A lot of people ask me about this. They actually have the same D shape, so they're interchangeable with the SP, and they look really cool, I think. So there we go. They're all off. This one needs to come off as well, the value wheel, and that just pulls off as well. And yeah, it's not going to be as easy as those other ones. Maybe I do need the cloth for this one. Let's get this back and give it a try with the cloth. Yeah, there we go. That helped a lot. So the microfiber was really clutch for getting that off. So there we go. There's a bit of a chip out of that actually. And what I'll do now is remove the faceplate. So that's going to be with an Allen key. There's 4 bolts around it, and they all need undoing. Pretty easy to do this bit, obviously. So what size is that? It says 564 on my tool here. Don't know if you'll be able to see that, and that's going to fit. Let's see. Yeah, that's the right size. So we'll undo these. So there we go. There's part 1 done. Undoing the faceplate, taking the dials off, taking these little screws off as well. So we can go ahead and lift that off and put that to one side. And if you do ever consider doing this, it's always a good idea to get all the dust and everything off while everything's apart. Just keeps it nice and tidy. And yeah, we're going to put this cloth down, and I'm going to actually turn the device over now. So I want to protect it a little bit. Sorry, it's a bit dirty. It's just full of dust from all my various pieces of equipment. So we can turn it over now, and I'm going to take out the SD card. We don't need that, so we want that out of the way. And next here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws that we need to undo. So we need to put the Allen key away for now, and we need to get a screwdriver out that fits these screws. These are a little bit annoying to do, but with the right screwdriver it should be fine. So I'm going to use this one. It's a Phillips head for all of these, and you just kind of have to poke the screwdriver in and feel for it locking in. It's a little bit difficult, especially as I can't stick my head over for this video. And what I'll do is loosen them all off, and then I'll turn the device over and they all should just fall out basically. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great stuff. So they've all come out now. So from previous experience, I know that as soon as you open this, the back of it, the battery area is attached via a cable. So that's the first thing you need to do, because as soon as you pull this apart, it's still kind of attached by that cable. And actually, I must have forgotten to plug that back in, because you can see here it's not plugged in at all. That cable is supposed to be connected here, and it looks like it's come undone. Doesn't really matter because I never use the batteries, but yeah, it would be good to have that reconnected when I put it back together. So I'll make sure that's done. I obviously forgot to do that. And over on the side, on the other side here, I'll just open this up. There's a ribbon. My second camera's just run out of battery, so hopefully you can see that white ribbon. So that needs to be disconnected. It just pulls out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Obviously, filming from above, this is going to be quite difficult to show you guys. Okay, and that is done. And now, because that's pulled out, you can see the ribbon here now, which goes into this slot here. Literally physically pulled out. And you can see the battery cable as well now, nice and clear. That goes into this part of the board here. So I'll make sure I zoom into all these bits so you can see them. So battery plug into there. This ribbon, which is like the bottom half of the device here, with all the inputs and everything, that connects into the board here at the top. Cool, so that's done, that's good. We're making good progress and nothing's gone wrong so far, which is good. Now, this bit is probably my least favorite part because you've got two of these kind of ribbon cables, which I really hate playing around with, and you have to disconnect both of them. One of them kind of goes to the screen, which is the one in the middle here, and this one connects the pads and everything to the main board. Now, these have both got clips that hold them in. They don't just physically pull out. So hopefully I can zoom in enough here to show you guys. If I'm pointing here, you can see there's a little clip and you just have to push that out. See how that popped out like that? And then the same again on the other side. Okay, both of those are released now. So you should be able to see, if I zoom in, that both of those are now loosened off, and I just used a flathead screwdriver just to push them out. And what that's going to allow me to do is pull this ribbon out of this slot now, hopefully. There we go. So that is now disconnected. That's good. That's gone well as well. And it's the same again for this one at the top. We need to release these two clips. So this one here and this one here, these both need to be pushed towards me. So we'll go ahead and do that. There's one. That was nice and easy. And there's two. Now this should just kind of pull out. This has been a little bit tricky. I don't want to damage it, obviously. These are very sensitive. Ah, there we go. It just slides out now that I've released those. So there we go. Both of those ribbons are now disconnected. You can see here the one for the screen. That's loose. And the main ribbon for the actual pads, that's loose as well. So that's really cool. Now what we've got to do is get rid of all the screws that's holding everything in. So you can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 2 here, 8 and 9. So there's quite a few to get around here. So I'll quickly go through and start undoing these. And kind of remembering where they all go as well is a little bit difficult, but the way I remembered last time was they all have this kind of star shape around them. So everywhere there's kind of like a star shape like this, the screws have to go back in. So kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, this will be now. We'll take this one out. Must be something to do with grounding or making a connection with the circuit. I'm not really sure. I'm not really that into electronics. I don't know much about it. But yeah, and then you've got the 2 up here, which hold down the top area. I think they're the same screws as well, so you don't need to actually differentiate those from each other. I can keep all these together. So there we go. They're all out. So 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Quite a few holding that in. And then there's this kind of protective piece of film you get as well. I'll just put that to one side. We need to remember to put that back in. And then, yeah, hopefully now it's just these 2 screws on the top board. 1 there, which we'll put over to this side. Another one here. So there we go. We now have all the screws out, I believe, so we should be able to pull this out. There we go. That is the brains of the Mark II right there, guys. The Roland BMC chip there. A few other chips as well. If you want to take a look at that, I'll just hold it and you can pause. And yeah, that needs to go to one side because we don't actually need to do anything with that at all. So we'll leave that over here for now. And now, yeah, this should just pull out as well. Ah, there's 2 extra hidden little screws underneath. Oh, there's 3 actually. So there's another 3. They should be the same as these screws here, I think. So we'll just go ahead and whiz these out as well. That's the wrong screwdriver. We need the bigger one. Here we go. Feeling nice and relaxed about this, which is good because I've done it before. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, but you never know. So one last screw to do now, and then that should mean everything is out. And yeah, there we go. Seems to be something loose on that. Ah, it's just that tray, I think. So there we go. Oh God, hold on a second. That comes loose as well. I didn't know that. So that's come off. And there we go. There's the replacement brain that I put in. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. It's just, again, we're not getting a good connection with the shift button right here. So this needs to have a connection. So here we go. We have access to all the pads now. We don't need to take off any more screws there for the screen. And you can see that little ribbon cable from before that goes into the screen directly. And this is the row of pads that I'm really keen to change because this has the shift button on it. Now, it's really difficult to see any sort of damage on this. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. I'll try and zoom in and keep it in focus. The only thing I can see is that the black on the bottom here is slightly worn. And I think that means that it's not getting a good connection with the board. All the rest of the pads look okay. But yeah, that shift one in particular, when I've really closely looked at it before, I've noticed that that is kind of missing some of that layer to make a connection. And I think that is the issue. I hope it is the issue because I'm going to change it now. So we've got the pads here. We've got another piece of sort of protective film. Oh, and then we've got the actual sensors as well. So we'll stack them. And then here we go. We've got the actual pads too. So we can take those out and you can see loads of dust in there and a lot of wear. I've been using this device a lot since I got it, obviously. So yeah, that's what they look like right now. So I can go ahead and get the new ones out. And I'm hoping I've got the right parts here. So let's open these bags. There we go. There's a brand new set of the new pads with the shift button and everything on them. I'm just going to inspect the underneath. And yeah, there's nothing missing from that black bit on the underside of this like there is with my old ones. So they're the two buttons next to each other. It's going to be really difficult to see on the camera, but I'm pretty sure that is the reason why this isn't working properly. And I'm really, really hopeful that this is going to fix this issue. So we'll go ahead and put this new one in. And that definitely is the new one, isn't it? Yeah, this is the old one. Always good to sanity check stuff like that before you put it all back together. And the other times that I have actually put this back together, there's been certain things that weren't working properly and I've had to go back in and sort of reposition the ribbons and stuff. Because I've got a bit of experience with that now, hopefully that won't happen again. So these have these little pegs that need to sort of line up. Okay, that's in and sat properly now. Those buttons down the side. I think I replaced these buttons down the side as well, the sub pad, etc. So that's the old set, that can go now. This is the old set, they can go now. And here we go, we have some new ones. So these are brand new, they look absolutely awesome. I can't wait to have these on my SP and it look absolutely mint. So let's go ahead and put those in. Again, it's the same situation, you just sort of pop them in and then there's these like little location pins that they slide onto. You have to manipulate it a little bit. But then after a while, they kind of just drop in. There we go. They're all dropped in now. Okay, good. So I've actually got to the point now where I've done what I've needed to do. And yeah, apologies if I keep going off the camera and stuff, but there's a lot going on in this video, obviously. Hopefully you've been able to see everything up until now. So what we need to do now is put the sensors back on for the pads. And I was going to say, which way do these go? But they can actually only go one way. And these also locate onto the little plastic pins as well. So there we go. Okay, that looks all good. And then we can put this protective film on. I'm not really sure what these are for, these things. If anyone knows in the comments, let me know. Is it just to stop dust and stuff getting through? Maybe moisture? That just sits on the top as well by the looks of it. Right, now I have to put it all back together, guys. So yeah, I need to remember what exactly I took out and I need to put it back in. So I imagine it's this board back on first, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is because we need to get that through the hole as well. So we need to put this on and we need to be really careful of that ribbon for the screen. We need to get it through that gap. There we go. And then there we go. That's located down now. So you can see the various holes are lined up with the screws, etc. So that's all looking good. Now we need to start screwing it back down. So we need two of these, which are going to go through these holes here. I think that was the last thing that I did, so it's obviously the first thing I'll do on the way back up. And wait a second, I think I need to put this plate on first. So that was lucky, I nearly got that wrong. So this plate needs to go on the top here. Ah, there we go. Now this hopefully is a little bit easier. Good job I remembered about that. Okay, they're both in. So that's the first two screws done. This is going to end up sitting on top here, so that's all good. That's going to be a little bit later, I think. We need to get this thing back on, which again, it's nice and easy to see which way it goes because it's just like that. You can't get it wrong basically. And now it's a case of putting all those screws here. We need to put those back in. Now this can be a little bit daunting, but if you're going to do it yourself, I really recommend just filming yourself and then you can just watch the video back because you need to remember all the holes that they go in. And I really recommend that you just kind of get them all located first before you actually tighten them all down snugly. So I'm just going to get them all in, get them screwed down a little bit, nice and secure, but not crazy tight. That seems to be as good as it's going to get. I think that's all of them done then. So we've got the board back in for the pads. We've got this kind of little protective thing back in. All the screws are back in and they're looking good. And yeah, okay, we can move on to the next bit where it gets a bit annoying again. And let's just check the front. They're not really sitting too well, those buttons, actually. You can see here at the bottom, it's kind of sagging a bit. Oh, dear. Oh, and do you know what, guys? There's something going on with this. I think I'm going to have to undo the whole thing again and redo it because the pads aren't sitting down properly. This is so annoying. I'm just going to do this really quickly because I want to get back to reassembling this. I think it's because I'm putting it down and it's pushing them out of the slots. Now, they're all sat nicely now, but when I put it down on the table like that, you can see it kind of raises them up and then they're coming out of the slot. So, not sure how I'm going to do this so that they all stay down. Okay, I put something under there so it's not actually sat on the pads anymore. So hopefully that will solve the issue. Now, let's put this board back on. And let's get this one at the bottom done first. And that seems to be causing me the problem, so let's get this back on first. Okay, that looks like it's located a little bit better. I need to put this dust screen back on. Luckily that slot's underneath that. Okay, so let's get a couple of these on. Okay, that's looking a bit better now. Everything seems to be a little bit better. I still need to screw these others down, but I think once they're done, everything should be a bit more snug. Pray to God this is going to be working again when I put it all back together. Yeah, that's looking way better now. Okay, we can move this and we can do that process again. Sorry about this, guys, but that is just the way that these things work sometimes. It's not always plain sailing, so I didn't want to edit that out because I want to show you guys that sometimes the process needs a little bit of tweaking for it to be perfect. Okay, this seems to all be coming together a lot nicer now. So it was better to do a couple on this circuit area here first before attaching this. That's probably the lesson that I learned there. Yeah, that all seems to be pulling together nicely. Let's have a look at the front now. Okay, yeah, all the buttons look like they're sat a lot better. The buttons up here and here, they all look so nice and new as well. It's really, really cool. So 2 more screws. Where are those? One here. And 1 more, which is going to be there. Cool, so this bit's done now. Hurrah! So let's just quickly tighten these up a little bit. Snug them all up now that they're all located properly. Yeah, they're all good now. So that's properly back in. Just quickly turn it over one last time and double check. Yep, all the pads are looking good and fresh and brand new, which is really, really cool. Okay, the next bit we need to do. We need these 2 black screws, which are going to go into these holes. And that's going to hold this board back in with all the inputs and outputs, the USB and everything like that. So we need to make sure that this stays above as well, because that happened to me last time. There we go, that's in place. And we can push this into the holes. And these 2 black screws should keep this located. Awesome, that bit was nice and easy, so that's back in. And now my least favorite part is getting these ribbons back into position. So these 2, and then the one that has to go back into here as well, that's a little bit later. But yeah, really don't like doing this. I find ribbons to be really dodgy. I always just think I'm going to break them. So yeah, this is quite hard to get in, as you can see. And this needs to go right into this slot. And it's quite hard to do because there's not much flexibility in it. There we go. You kind of have to feel that in and then push those 2 tabs down at the side. Yeah, that one's looking good. So we've got that in nice and tidy. The tabs are on. That's not coming out. Same for this one. This is a bit easier, this one, because you have more kind of like access to it in a way. Okay, that took a little bit of back and forth to locate, but that is connected now. So yeah, I just had to put it in and out a few times. And then when you put the clamps in, it kind of shores it up. But that was a bit fiddly, that one. It looks like it's all back and okay now. I guess we'll find out when we actually try and turn it on in a minute. So now we have to do this bit, which is pretty difficult to show you on camera. I might actually just skip this bit, guys, and edit it out, because what I'm basically going to do is put this back on over the top, and as soon as I do that, you can't see. So that is going to go into this location here, and I'm going to remember to plug the battery back in as well. So I'll just go ahead and do that. I'll leave the camera rolling, but I'll probably edit it out because I don't think you'll be able to see anything. Okay, they're both located again, and now all that's left to do is put these screws back in. I might actually go ahead and test this before I do that, because then I can just easily pop this back off again. Think it should be okay because I've made sure everything is absolutely bomber when I've done it. And do you know what? It's going to be absolutely awesome if this shift button works again. I don't think I needed to take the faceplate off, but let's get that back on. Last one, come on. There we go. Okay, the faceplate's on. The back's not connected properly yet, but we'll give it a try with the power. Make sure everything lights up correctly. Make sure it actually even turns on. Okay, there we go. We're plugged in. There we go. It's loading up all right. Okay, it's loaded up okay. And yeah, all those pads are working. Does shift work a lot better now? Let's see. So we'll choose one. Oh my God, it does. Yes, come on. That is so much better. Oh my God. Guys, this is amazing. My shift button is working properly now. Pad 1, if I want to shift chop. Oh yeah, it's all just working. I can't express how good this is because I've had this broken shift button for a long time now, and to be able to just press it very, very lightly and be able to get into envelope and be able to get into chop, that feels incredible. So it looks like it's all good. Operation successful. Let's unplug it again and get these screws back in, and I'll obviously have to do a bit more testing to make sure everything's working okay. I wasn't actually even plugged into sound then, so we'll need to double check all that. But yeah, looking good, guys, looking really good, and I'm so happy about that. And there we go, all done. I just realized again, I'm just all over the place with the camera. Probably should have paid a little bit more attention to that, but there we go. Completely disassembled the SP404-MK2, put it back together again, and fixed my issue with the shift button. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and yeah, I'm just so relieved to have this working again properly, and I'll report any further issues that I have if I come into any. But yeah, it's looking really nice. Brand new pads. These are the old ones in comparison. Looking really kind of battered and horrible. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. So I'll see you all again in another video with a fully working SP very, very soon.